Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group, and this is video 1 in the Night Before Christmas series, and this is going to be a lap book using a little golden book, The Night Before Christmas. Now, this part of the video, we're just going to kind of go through what we're going to be using and or not using that I've kind of stashed away all year that's Christmas themed. Now, here's the instructions, of course, for making our cover, or most of our cover. And so I've got that ready to go, and we'll do that in the next section of this video. I bought the Graphic 45 Let It Snow collection. These are the little ephemera pieces, which kind of go with this down here. Like I said, I've already cut the pieces, and I have our book layout with the measurements all done. And I'm going to try to, mine plus the blood from my paper cut, because, you know, any kind of sharps I have to stay away from. I can't believe I got a paper cut. And, you know, I didn't even know I did it because I have some mild neuropathy in my fingers. That's why I can't tie bows until I got blood on my paper. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that paper situation. But this is just lightweight chipboard. Okay, and then we'll go over the measurements and everything after I get done showing you the items, and pause real quick until the last item arrives today in the mail or from Amazon. So here's our little golden book, The Night Before Christmas. And then we've also got, and I've taken some of this apart, we've also got the innards that were taken apart to make 2 signatures. And of course the inside cover and the inside front cover and the front cover, what we're going to be using. The back cover is not Christmas related at all, and I was going to cover it, but then I decided not to. We're going to go over how to take the signatures out as well. This is the Let It Snow papers that we'll be using, and they are just gorgeous. I'd love to use this as one of the cover pictures, and I might use it on the back cover, but we'll have to see because it's not the little golden book cover. But this kit is great, and let me see. And I bought the 8 by 8 and the 12 by 12 so that I had enough paper. The little golden book pieces are 8 by 8, so we're going to be great with that. And there's the little pieces, and then here's the big pad. Thing's heavy. And then I also had this wrapping paper, this Christmas wrapping paper, so I thought we might make a few pages in the journal out of that. Move all this to the side. Yes, there's more. I've been collecting Christmas stuff for at least 6 months. So, like I said, some of the stuff we may use, some of it we may not. I have this burlap ribbon in green. You have to take the wire out, and we'll, you know, probably cut it down to a smaller piece. But I've got that in green. We're going to sew our tie our signature in. We're going to use a instead of an elastic, we're going to use this, and it's got Christmas colors. We're going to be using some white ribbon, and I got this ginormous spool on Amazon for very, very inexpensive. And I'd like to say I did not realize the spool was this big. It's it just says it's Morex, M-O-R-E-X ribbon, and it's number 88 DF satin ribbon on Amazon. If you want to get the same size, you might want to get a smaller spool though. I just got in the mail today, or actually Saturday, this stencil, which is little Christmas tree lights. And I'll tell you honestly, I did not realize that the stencil set was a holiday set. Well, I did, because there were Halloween stuff, or there was Halloween stuff. There is There is Halloween stuff, some autumn leaves, one generic background stencil, and another one that I don't remember what it was, and these Christmas lights. But I thought it was ivy, and I still might be able to get away with using it as a border, as ivy, but we're going to use it as Christmas tree lights on the back of our cards. I have this Christmas caroling book, songbook, with Christmas songs in it that we probably going to use some of those as pages. Then I have this. Now this is a 12 by 12, and it's, I'm trying not to hit the camera, and it's that thick. So we've got a few things in here. Oh, I'd like to say that using the little golden book with the Christmas paper set from Graphic 45 was inspired by Jody Lewis, and I will have her YouTube link below, and her channel is called Jody Lewis Creations, if that helps. Oh, her channel number is a bunch of numbers and letters, so or a bunch of letters and one number. Anyway, so let me open this away from the camera here so I don't hit it on there. So I have these napkins that I've collected. This one actually has fish on one half of it, but the other half is navy blue. So we'll be able to use that. So we won't use the fish, but we could use this if we want. I love this Santa. On this, this was given to me by my friend Dorlisa, and the back half is the back of Santa, and the front half is the front of Santa. So that might make a cute card with both pieces, you know, on it, front and back. Then I've got this round one. It'd be kind of fun to have a round tag. Anyway, and some more Christmas ones. And the little red truck, of course. Or that one's a station wagon. Okay, so like I said, we may use some or all of this. I don't know. I have some ephemera that would probably match in the journal, but not in the flippy, flappy lapbook part. This is by Victoria Designs, and it's called The Cutest Christmas, and this is some of the ephemera from it. I like the fact that it has the black lines around it, so my scan and cut will cut it out. I've discovered that holding the mat down with masking tape allows the less than super sticky, just like you got it from the store, mat to hold the paper. Now this is some free Christmas stuff from Junk Journal with Penny, and it's the name of her Facebook group. So, oops, that's paper. But anyway, let me get past the paper. Oh, actually, it looks like it's papers. Oh, here's the ephemera in the back. It's like the Santa Claus and vintage images, so I thought we could maybe use that in the journal, or some of it. Some of you probably remember the Peachy Cheap unboxing that I did. So this is the Christmas kit that I ordered. And it has flowers, tinsel, the little ephemera, Christmas ephemera. This little 6x8 paper pad with all these different Christmas themed pictures. So that's what we've got in there. Oh, plus, looks like I left a couple things in there. Oh, right, some of the enamel dots and some of the designer buttons. So hopefully we can use some of these. I think those would be cute. Whoops, I'm holding them off camera. I'm so sorry. So there's those. There's this. I'm going by where this is placed instead of where the camera is. The paper pad. using the tinsel. You can go back and refer to that Peachy Cheap unboxing. I got another big envelope of non-Christmas stuff. I got each one for $14. This whole package in this envelope was only $14. So you might want to sign up for their newsletter. You get a different deal every day. Alright, I'm not going to play with that anymore. Put that over there with the kits. I got these gifted to me, and they're very cute. And it says Let It Snow, which is the name of the kit, by Graphic 45. And so we may or may not use them, but I think these little penguins are just adorable. Then another, this is a piece of cloth that my friend Kyung Shotwell gave me. And her YouTube channel is Kyung Shotwell, Kyung. My friend Elizabeth from Junk Journal with Joy Facebook group made these. She made these with her alcohol inks, and then she cut them out in circles to make Christmas ornaments and put the little tabs on them. We have some more stamps. Now these are holiday stamps, so obviously we're not going to use the Happy St. Patrick's Day or whatever, but there is a really pretty Merry Christmas right here, and there's also a Happy Holidays up here. So we might use those two stamps. I have a bunch of miscellaneous ephemera. Probably won't, oh, this is based with white. So the paper that we're going to use is 8.5 by 11, 65-pound cardstock made by Neenah, N-E-E-N-A-H. And the reason I mention who it's by, I love these borders, is because it's got, you want to get the one that has the vellum finish. Not vellum, but vellum finish. And it's got this really cool texture to it. And I think once you use it, you'll never go back. Everybody that I've talked into trying it has liked it. And I think it's only $13 for 250 to 300 pages. So it's a pretty good deal. Here's some more ephemera. Here's a bag that was gifted to me. I'm not sure if we'll use the bag with the Tim Holtz People, but there's a bunch of cards and things in here that I could use for Christmas. See? So we could make postcards. I have a stamp that says postcard out of those. That would be great. Here's some material. Now, I've never worked with material before, so there's the truck with the Christmas tree in it, in it, and some different views of it. And I think this gold is pretty, even though most of our accents are going to be silver and white. It's still pretty. And some Christmas trees and Merry Christmases and basic colors and just a bunch of little scraps of material. These were sent to me by Joy from Junk Journal with Joy Facebook group. It was very nice of her. She gifted those to me. This is coffee dyed paper. We're going to use much more than this in the altered day before or night before Christmas junk journal, altered book junk journal that we're going to make. And oh, here's another napkin. I have to put that. Oh no, this is paper. It's tissue paper. Here's some more miscellaneous ephemera. Oh, we can't use that. It's inked in brown. I'll have to see if the blue ink will cover the brown. That's why I left it in there. Here's some clear plastic with it says Merry Christmas and stuff on it, so we might be able to use that. Got a couple of postcards, and I've got some Christmas paper. And I really liked this which I think is what Joyce sent me this stuff wrapped in. Now we're going to use some stamps possibly. The two colors we'll be using is are Aged Mahogany and Uncharted Mariner for the blue. And they're Tim Holtz Distress Inks. Here's some smaller ephemera that I'm not sure what we're going to be able to use. And it looks like that's the bottom of our box. Oh, here's some old wooden stamps. This one says ho 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 and has a Santa. And this one has a heart with little Christmas bells in the middle. So we'll see about those. And here's our ink. So that's what we're going to be working with. Like I said, we may use some or all or none of this loose stuff. We're going to use the stamps, and these are Fiskars. If you ever have a problem with the stamps, let them know. Lifetime warranty and all their stuff. And this like I said, this beautiful cloth from Kyung, I'd love to use that for a flip or something. And so that's what we're going to be using for our project. I'm going to look around. We may have some more in the blue or white Christmas pattern or whatever. I'm going to look through my about 1,000 digital kits and see. Yes, I hoard them, just like I hoard my books that I make. I've had a couple of people ask me if they could buy my books, and I've actually said no. Isn't that crazy? So this weighs about, I would say, 5 pounds. So when we come back, we're going to go ahead and make the cover. Oh, I'm waiting on some navy blue 12 by 12 cardstock pieces, and that's what we're going to make our base cover on, that we're going to decorate. Okay, so that's it for this part. And then, like I said, when we come back, we'll construct the cover, and then we will be off to the races as far as the rest of it's concerned, and that'll start in video 2. I'm thinking this is going to be 10 videos. I've got it scheduled for the middle of November, which is when you're watching it now, obviously, and hopefully that will give you a chance to make your own lap book by Christmas as a gift for someone near and dear to your heart, because you're going to be putting quite a bit of work into this. Okay? All right, I'll see you in just 1 second, which will be instantaneously for you. All right, here we go. So after we've gone through everything, I cut the pieces for the cover, and then we have our little golden book, and the little golden book is actually not going to be part of the cover except until later. Taking apart of the little golden book and all that, we're going to cover at a different time when we get ready to use the cover. Okay, so we're just going to set our little golden book to the side for right now. Now, I forgot to mention, we're going to put these gold corner pieces on the 4 corners, but we won't do that until last. Everything has to be papered. And then we're also going to make a hidden spine that's going to go inside the spine that the journal goes on, so that because when you have the 4 pieces of the lap book, the outside 2 covers fold in, and then that folds in, right? And so I didn't want the sewing in of the journal. I didn't want the thread to be visible on the outside. I've never made this kind of an inside spine before. I've seen it done. Miss Paint-A-Lot did it in her Tim Holtz journal, lap book, and I've actually made one of those. I just never made a tutorial of it because I followed her tutorial, but I will be making a flip through of it and publishing that at some time. So we're going to need eyelets for that. We won't be doing that until later either. Okay, so now what I've done is I've made the cover 8 by 8, and that way the outside covers and the inside covers will be pieces right straight from here without any trimming. Okay? We won't need those right now either because we don't have enough time in this video. I have the layout drawn out, which is what you should do as well when you get ready to do yours. I'm going to make another copy of this in ink. I'm going to try to anyway, make this in ink and then scan it in and give it to you as one of the pages in your PDF. If you're a member of the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group, you'll get a step-by-step PDF tutorial, which is a written out version that you can use when you follow along with the videos. So some people find that helpful. If so, you can get one for free. All right, so I drew everything out, and what I needed to calculate was how wide I wanted the two outside covers, which are actually the ones that fold in. Now, we know we're going to be building on the back cover, or the insides of the two main covers. So we need to give enough space for whatever we build up to not keep the outside ones from closing. I hope that makes sense. So the outside two are only 6.5 inches wide, where the inside ones are 8 by 8s. Then we're going to have a larger spine so that when they fold in and then fold up, then that spine is the same width as those two spines put together. We have a narrower spine here, so you're going to have your largest one in the middle. We have the narrowest one over here, and we have a wider one over here because of our journal. Now, it doesn't matter that when you close it, one spine will be a little bit bigger than the other. There are plenty of lap books where, you know, one is quite a bit larger than the other. There's plenty where they're the same size. It all depends on what you want to do. If you feel like you can sew your journal in this particular project, in a 1 1/4 inch spine, then go ahead and make it the same size as this one. This was 1 1/4. And I'm going to give you the measurements. I've got them written down, but I'm going to give them to you in writing in the PDF as well. So what we have now is 4 pieces that are 8 inches tall, 2 that are 6.5 inches wide, 2 that are 8 inches wide, a 1 1/4 inch spine, a 1 3/4 inch spine. You add those two together and you come up with a 3-inch spine in the center. Now we're going to cover it with cardstock. I know we're going to have some seams, but since we're making it 8 by 8, the only place you'll see them is on the very top of the book. So we're just going to have to live with that since I'm not using cloth. I thought about using cloth, but this is a project that I've really been looking forward to, and I really didn't want to fight with cloth, or not fight with it, but try to learn how to use it on a project that I really want to get done for you guys for Christmas. So, and I realize this is the end of November, but this will give you time, you know, to make one of your own, or for some other holiday, or just in general, how to make one. So what we're going to do is we need to make a piece of blue. We're using navy 12 by 12 pieces, and we need them to be the length of all of these added together, which is 34.5, plus an inch on either end. Okay, so that's 36.5. So one of our, where it wraps around, is only going to be 3/4 of an inch, and one's going to be 1 inch. Or we can split the difference and make it even. But we're going to start by adding the spine in the center, and we're going to work our way out. I've made a 1 inch line so that we can line the pieces up. I've written the 10 inch here and the 12 inch here, because the 12 inch length is what we need to glue together to get our 36 inches. I've also written which side to glue on. So we're going to start with 3, which is the right end. These are the pieces, and I'll show you those in just a second. I'm running out of room here. Okay, so we've got our 12 by 10, are 10 by 12. Actually, it's 12 inches long, 10 inches tall. I made a mark at 1 inch, and there'll be 1 inch at the top. Once we line it up with this inch, it'll just come out that way. We're going to glue this one to this one with a very small overlap. And if we line the 1 inch lines up, then we know everybody's straight and happy. I mark the side with glue. This technique was shown to me also by Miss Paint-A-Lot's husband, Mr. F, which stands for Mr. Fix-It. They used to paint furniture and do that online. So he fixed it up and she painted it, but now she makes beautiful journals. And when there's a hardcover involved, he makes the hardcovers. So, not that she couldn't, but he just does. And then this one will go here. I'm going to put the glue on this side, and we'll glue this one onto here, and that will give us our 36 inches across. Now this is going to be a bear to glue, so I probably will just show you one long side and one short side, and then that will be enough time that we have left in this video, just because it's going to take a bit to get that bent over. This is 73-pound paper. Now, I normally use 65, and I could have used a little less for the cover. The heavier it is, when you bend it, the higher chance there is of the paper cracking. So we're going to have to be mindful of that and be careful. And it's going to just be a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so let's glue these together. Going to take longer to get the glue down there than it is to glue it together. Let's put a bead of glue down. Doesn't seem like there was enough right there. Okay. And we're going to lay this one on top of that one. We're going to make our lines straight. You know, I forgot to account for the overlap. I do have a 10 by 10. So if we need another piece, kind of wipe up this glue. Dry wet wipe. And I've written this in chalk. It doesn't matter though, because it's going to be on the inside. And you want to make sure that everything is straight. It's very important. So you want to make sure there's no problem at the top. Here I thought it was crooked, but it was that black line right there. Okay, then you're going to flip it over and check for any glue seepage. There's a little teeny bit right there. This is going to be the front of our cover. Okay, so we got that glued. You do this just like you would any other smaller book. Let's give that a second to dry. I probably put a little bit too much glue if it oozed out that much. And I don't want it to slide around. So let's glue this one. Since I glued this one over the top of that one, we want to be consistent. So I'll glue this one over the top of this one. You know, and I didn't account for the little space in between the spines either, where you fold. So those are several eighths that I did not account for, that I realized as I'm putting this together. So I think what I'll do is I'll glue the 10 by 10 on here, which will be the right height, and it'll give us an extra 10 inches, which is going to be way too long. But we can then measure 1 inch off the end and then cut the rest off. Let's lay this out and see how bad it is. Here's all of our pieces. Now, this is the inner hidden spine, so I'm going to put that up here with the eyelets and the corner pieces. It'll be put in before then, and we're going to paper it. And remember, we're going to tie in our journal okay? Because some of the pages are going to be coffee dyed paper, and that way you can take it out, replace the coffee dyed paper, and continue on like the next year. I thought maybe it would be a Christmas memory book, and you could write every year, you know, things that happened for that Christmas. Okay, so now if we put this spine in the center, and then we put the larger pieces on either side. Oh yeah, we're going to run into trouble. Is it possible that I added it incorrectly? I'm sorry, my hand is cramping. Alright, so that's going to be, gosh, and I wanted to leave just a smidge extra for folding. You want to leave the width, at least the width of the card, because otherwise the card will hit itself and it won't close. So then we'll have this spine here, or I mean this is the back. This will be the cover, this will be the back. Just like any other book. Now you can make a trifold out of this as well. And had I done that, I would have definitely had enough paper. Yeah, see, and then when I put the spine here, I'm not going to have 6.5 inches. So let's lay our other spine here. You know, I think we're going to need another full piece, and then we'll trim it off. Well, no, maybe not. The seams are going to end up in the center of the front and the center of the back anyway, but it won't matter. I'll put this on. And we put this on. We don't really have enough to wrap over. So we would need to move all of this down. So we are going to need the other piece. Wow. This is going to be a bear, isn't it? Okay. Let's get my 10 by 10. I know you can't see it, it's off camera. Here's our 10 by 10. Means it's 10 inches wide and 10 inches tall, because we need the inch on the top and the bottom for the 8. So if we add that in at this end, this end here, which is the right end, not just the correct end, but the rightmost end, the right-handed furthest end. Apparently, I don't know how I want to phrase that. Then it looks like we would have enough. All right, let's glue that on. And we glued that over, so we would need to glue the glue on here. Should have drawn the 1-inch line first. It just helps line it up. This is really long. I'm not sure how we're going to be able to do it. Oz is barking. Everyone say hi to Oz. I mean, I know this doesn't matter because it's going to be covered, but depending on where it falls, you might see some of the glue on the inside. Let's flip it over. Oh, let's just double check. Yeah, there's quite a bit of glue on this side. Because I had to move it. So this is a glue eraser. Looks like this. Kind of funky looking. They're just a couple bucks on Amazon. They work really well, as you can see, for removing glue, which is probably how they ended up being called glue erasers. They work on most papers. They work with Fabri-Tac. It just kind of gums it up. It balls it up into little balls. Okay. And of course we're going to cover the spine area as well with paper. Okay, that should be long enough. This is going to be impossible to fold. I wonder if we should have done 2 sections, folded them over. No, there's no way to do that. Okay. All right, I need to make more room. Sorry about that. I had to move something rather large out of the way. I had a couple of 12 by 12 plastic bins that I keep projects in. Okay, 8 by 8 center, 8 by 6.5, 8 by 6.5, which you can't see, but I put it at this end like I did that one. The 3-inch goes in the center. 8 by 8 is the other center. 1 1/4. Gosh, I wish you could see this. Is farther to the right. Right here. With the other 8 by 6.5 here. The 1 3/4 spine. The 8 by 6.5. Then we're going to have to cut off some of this once everything's glued and dried. I have no idea how I'm going to flip that up. Okay. Let's start with the center. Yeah, we're going to have extra at both ends. But we still would not have had enough without adding that piece. Probably could have made it a 10 by 5. So let's kind of get everybody lined up. Let's see. I don't want this seam to be right at the edge of this spine. So let's move everybody down a little bit. See if we can do it this way. There's a seam right here. Let's see if we can get it in the around the corner a little bit. It appears so. Put this one here. Line this one up here. And we'll put this one here. Yeah, Okay, let's glue these on. I know they're going to fit. I'd rather only cut paper off one end. So let's see if we can get that to about 1 inch. That'll put our seam in a better spot. Yeah, definitely could have done with a 10 by 5 at the other end. The other end looks just like this end. Okay. So let's glue this on. Okay, then we're going to glue this piece next to it. The reason I'm turning it over is so I still have my measurements in writing facing me. And I'm putting an extra in the corners. I normally don't glue in the center, but this is a little bit heavier. This is lightweight chipboard. And it's a little bit heavier than 2 cereal boxes glued together, which I could have done, and I'm almost wishing I had now. Now I'm going to glue this one on. It looks like the seams are going to end up pretty much where I wanted them. It doesn't really matter. I just don't want one on a bend, on a fold. I'd like them to fall in the center of our pieces. We could have covered each piece. We're not going to cover the inside. Excuse me. We're not going to cover the insides until we get to that section. And the reason being that we're going to build on those pages. So we can't have the paper glued down, or else we would have some, you know, the hinge would be on the paper itself, and I don't particularly like that look. I realize this is two-sided paper. This will be the spine we sew our journal to. I'm almost wondering if it is too big. No, I don't think so, because our journal's going to be 2 signatures. You want to make sure that your pieces are the same amount apart from each other. So like, I want this one to be the same distance apart, then this one is apart from that one. I just don't know how I'm going to flip it up and over. I've made a lap book before, and I used paper, so obviously I can do it. Just need a little faith in myself, I guess. I've been waiting 2 days to do this. I've been very anxious about it. I don't know, for those of you that don't suffer from anxiety issues, I mean the kind you have to take medicine for, not just regular, oh, I really don't want to do this kind of anxiety. May think, well, why did it take you 2 days to work up the courage to do this on camera? But it did. So, it's a good thing I started this in September. This is the hardest part, I promise you. The other parts may be a little intricate, but they're not going to be hard. We're going to do some flips and flaps and things. We're not going to use manila folder. That would make it too thick. We are going to use the blue cardstock. Hopefully I have enough. I should hope so. Comes in 25 pieces for almost $20. Yikes. This is the most expensive book I've ever made. Between the paper and the 12 by 12 pad, the 8 by 8 pad, the ephemera, I would have to say that this book has cost me at least, at a minimum, $80 for the supplies. So, using a paper pad set, it's not for the faint of heart. I'm not going to sell this. However, if I did, considering my time, which you really never get reimbursed for in junk journals or lap books or whatever, I would definitely, this is definitely stuck down crooked. Now I have to kind of go with it and hope for the best. I mean, it's not going to make the book crooked. It's just going to make the top and bottom paper when we fold it over crooked, which is fine. We're going to be covering it all. The papers are 8 by 8. The covers are 8 by 8, so we're not going to leave a border around. And glue on the last 8 by 6.5. This is outrageously long. I only needed about an inch of that extra paper, maybe 2. Not much at all. If I had known that, I probably, well, no, I really wouldn't have made the spines any smaller. I mean, I guess I could have done 3/4 of an inch and an inch And that probably would have put me within range on the paper itself. So it's more important, I mean, it would have been better had I kept this lined up on here. But it's more important that these are lined up together here. Oh no, it's quite a bit more than an inch. It's almost 3, I would say, by the time we have the amount to fold over. Alright, so I've got all this. We only have 12 minutes left. So we've already done 20 something minutes in the first part. We've done, well, let's get it trimmed. At least we'll have that. Now we're going to trim the corners. Then we're going to cut this other end off. I'm sorry if this was off camera. I had to pull it towards me to see what I was doing, even though I didn't know what I was doing. You want to take into account the thickness of the board when you trim your corner. That's probably a little bit too far out. We are going to be putting the metal corners on. We do have a little bit of forgiveness of it being pointy. Let's go ahead and measure one inch out. And we're really making a big mess. I have a 6-foot long table and I'm running out of space. Okay. So we're going to cut this off here. So now we're going to keep that, of course. I have craft paper or chipboard fuzz everywhere. Oh, I want to cut the corner. I am so sorry. I'll flip this around. Okay, we're going to go in this way and then out around. So you're going to cut it into angle and cut out at an angle. Sorry about this taking so long. It's a really long project. See, now that one's a little short. I always do better from the right end. I guess there's a way to do this where it's all at the right way. Yeah, you can see how crooked it is. Alright, so now we're going to want to pull this up to kind of train it a little bit where we want it to fold. Okay. I'm going to move this out of the way at the other end. And then we're going to glue all along this end here, all the way down. And we're going to glue the paper all the way down. So we're going to go along this edge, all the way down. Then we have to come back and we have to glue this all the way down. This is heavier paper. We're going to need, you know, it probably would have been smart to use two-sided tape and then put glue on top of it. But I'm always afraid of when it grabs right away that there's going to be a problem. And then it'll be permanently stuck down with the tape. So, darn it. I mean, like I said, we're going to cover it. I'm going to go off camera here. Well, and Fabri-Tac gives us a little bit of time. Get our ducks in a row. Okay, we're going to start from this end, and we're going to fold it up, fold it up, fold it up, and then we're going to flip it over, and press it down. Yeah, this is pretty heavy paper. I'm just sliding it along as I press it down. Okay, now we're going to flip it over. Make sure it all sticks down. With it being so long, I might possibly have to put clips on it to get it to stay, and do one side, clip it, wait for it to dry, and do the other. It wasn't so bad getting it flipped over. Okay, and then I'll do the end, and then I'll do the other side and the other end off camera. This is done the same way. Oh, you're supposed to do both long sides and then the ends. So you do the ends all the same way. You glue them in the center, Then you glue all of this. You pre-bend it a little bit so that it knows what you want it to do. Worked out fine on this. You're going to take your bone folder too, and you'll go along here to kind of flatten it out. It'll look better. You see what I'm doing? Just going along the top. Makes it look more book-like. And it helps kind of flatten out the seams. We also need to do this in between each spine. Make an indentation to help it fold. And we will probably go ahead and cover all the spines in blue. And then when we get to this hidden spine here, we'll just cover the blue with whatever we're going to cover it with. Okay? Then we're going to do the ends. I mean the other long end, just like I did this one. And then either end, just like I did this one. It's like making any other book. It's just really, really big. Okay? Alright. So that's going to be it for this video. And I will see you in the next video. When we come back, I'll have all these corners, or all the edges folded over and glued. And we'll move on to the next steps after that. And that will be just a second for you, and a day, or maybe two, for me. All right. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming and viewing.